Okay, 2001 Jeep TJ 4.0. I was leaking transmission fluid, and I'll tell you what happened before I go under there. I changed the shift shaft seal, which was leaking. I put tissue around it, and I'll show you in a minute. And I also put tissue around the neutral safety switch. Turns out both of them are leaking. The shift shaft seal was leaking a lot. This neutral safety switch was leaking a little bit. It looks like right there, the rubber gasket looks like it was worn away a little bit at that spot. And I think that's what was causing a slight leak. So my setup for the neutral safety switch, ramp, jacked up the frame, supported it with 2 jack stands. This allowed the drive shaft to hang down a little bit. 1-inch Crosfoot wrench. This was my setup. Extension, saw 3/8, little wobble socket. This 1-inch socket would not fit over because of the drive shaft. I didn't want to drop the drive shaft. So this is the shift shaft seal down here. That took about an hour to get out with a small flathead as well as a pick. What I did was I used a smaller flathead, but when I pried against the shaft, I pried to the right. So the top of the screwdriver is hitting the shaft above the seal. And I did both sides. And on this side, pried it to the left. So the bottom part of the screwdriver is pushing up on the seal. It took about an hour. It seems like a total waste of time, like someone else said, and then eventually the seal pops up. Took about 45 minutes to tap it back in. I put a socket above it, and I put a C-clamp over here, and I just used the top of the C-clamp to bang down on the socket. I also tried using a maul above it, tap the socket. The C-clamp seemed to work the best. The seal goes in a little crooked, so don't worry about that. Now, if you remove this linkage, when you remove it, there is halfway up the shaft, there's another rubber gasket, which someone in a Facebook comment said is another source of a leak. I didn't change mine, but it's held in by an E-clip. There's an E-clip, a washer, and then the seal. And that's like halfway up the shaft before it narrows out to up here. So that's another seal, just be aware. You can still order that online. All right, so basically the neutral safety switch is that sucker, and the clip is off. The clip is off right now. To remove the clip, you see the wide part on the bottom? I pressed, you can see where I indented it with a flathead screwdriver. Sorry for the bad camera. I pressed against the bottom, and then you heard it like release. It's locking in right here on the bottom. So if you can locate where this section is right here, push against the bottom of it with a flathead and pull it right off. That's it. Wasn't terrible to take out, but I will show you how I had it set up. Take this extension off. Basically like that, and then that's kind of how the wrench was sitting. Mine was sitting a little more vertically, but that's how it's supposed to look when it's on there. Make sure it's all the way back, grabbing the part of the switch that you want it to, and then I would take this off, hook it all up to the ratchet, put it back on, and I just had to turn it literally just a crack, and the switch came loose, and I was able to back it off by hand. I was able to put it in maybe a third of the way by hand, and then I had to I used this basically, then got it to go a little more, turned it more by hand. I kept doing that. Then once it was snug, I just gave it just a little bit more. That's it. It doesn't take much torque for this. That was the source of my leak. The problem with the shift shaft seal and even the neutral safety switch seal, it runs down and it mimics a leak on your pan. So you would think your gasket on your pan is leaking, but it wasn't. To change this shift shaft seal, I did drop the skid plate, and I have a video of how to put it back on. Basically, you put one side on, so I did the passenger side, all three. I just got them started, left them loose, and then I would work on either side, and then you could put a cold chisel in here, push towards the passenger side, and it really wasn't hard. I did it myself. It only took me like 10-15 minutes, and that's the easy way to get this on. So that's it. That's my setup. I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, put it in the comments and I'll read it. So good luck, and I will pin the comment in the near future to see if my leak 100% stopped. But I'm going to put another piece of tissue right in here underneath the neutral safety switch. And also you want to put tissue around that to locate the leak. Little pieces of tissue, and within a few hours you'll see them turn red, and that's the source of your leak. That's basically it, and I hope this helps.